Hmm. Good Friday morning to all of you. How is everything going this week? It's a beautiful day here in Durham, especially for the middle of November. It's like 72 degrees outside and sunny. And then it's going to die for a couple days and come back up, and who the heck knows. How is it going this week? What's one thing that really worked out for you well this week? I mean, just clicked into place and you got it right. For me, I had a client who had liposuction and had a lot of fibrosis around her waist where they had done the liposuction. A lot of fibrosis, more than I'm used to seeing. And this was the third or fourth time that she had come to see us. And I had mentioned in the last appointment, you say your husband's been trying to help, but he uses too much pressure, which common complaint. So if you ever want to bring him in with you to an appointment, I can show him, sort of tutor him how to do this for you, do this sort of breaking up of the fibrosis. And darned if she didn't show up with him this week. I kind of assumed she'd asked first, but whatever. But I had a great tutoring session with a client's spouse so that the client's spouse can continue the work that I'm doing in this session between sessions. And I think it's going to make a big difference. Because first I showed him on him how it should feel, and then I had him try it on his spouse and have her comment about how that worked, and showed him some tips, gave him some tips about body mechanics and hand placement and pressure. And I'm hoping to hear when I see her next week that his help was much more helpful this time. So I've often made that offer. If you've got somebody you live with that you'd like me to show them some stuff to help you between appointments, and very few people have taken me up on it, but he did. He came in. He was kind of a goofball, but I'm hoping he paid really good attention and that it pays off for my client. That was my success for the week. What about you? What's working for you this week? Anything special? Anything new? Doesn't even have to be about work. It could be, I finally got my car inspected. Whatever works. Well, as I posted, I want to talk a little bit about a phenomena that I see when we gets around to raising our rates. And it's basic. The phenomena is, what role does the client's purse play in your decisions? How much do their finances affect your decision about raising your rates? Now, obviously, one part of our calculation and how we set and raise our rates is, do they make sense for the economy in which we work and the kind of clients we want to work with, and what we know in general about their socioeconomic position, what kind of money they make. Broadly speaking, for a category of people, as much as you can get that information, that should weigh in to how you set your prices, if you can get that information. And same thing with raising your prices. You have to have an appreciation for the audience you're working with. What I'm asking really is, how much do the finances of current clients, and usually specific clients, play into your decision to raise your rates? Because I hear people say pretty regularly, not all the time, but often enough, oh, they can't afford it. Oh, they can't afford it. Oh, they can't afford it. Have you ever said that? When I've said it, or when I've thought it, the truth is I was thinking about a few specific clients that I really liked and didn't want to lose, that would sometimes talk about, boy, this is expensive, but they kept coming, or that were confrontational in some way. And I wasn't thinking about all of my clients. I was usually thinking about a couple. And underneath that, it's often fear. Fear of the reaction. How will people respond to this? What will happen? what's going to happen when I raise my rates? Is it going to be terrible? And when I've done it, it hasn't been terrible. People roll with it. People expect prices to go up. And I have had a client or two say, I can't afford this. And I say, I understand. And I directed them somewhere where I thought they could get lower priced, decent massage. Now here's something I never hear us talking about. That the phrase afford it is not as straightforward as it sounds. Because we've all probably, I mean, I know I have lots of times, been faced with the price for something and it was so much more than I expected. I went, oh, I can't afford that. I mean, you probably did. You may have done that with massage school. I can't afford that. And you step back and you go, but I really want it. Whether it's massage school, whether it's a trip, whether it's clothing or a pair of shoes, something for the house, a house. And you wanted it bad enough that you came back in and went, okay, here's what it would take for me to afford that. And that's my decision. That is entirely my decision. It is not the responsibility of the person selling the thing that I want to get. It's all about me and my money and my priorities and the value I place on a thing and the reality of my finances and all of that. But that's all my business. That's all my business. I hate it when I'm trying to look at buying something. They're like, oh, you think you can't afford it? Let's talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. That ain't none of your damn business. Because that's a sales job. That is a hardcore sales job. So when we're making decisions about not raising our rates because we want to protect our clients, we're kind of getting into their business. Because honestly, their finances ain't none of our business. On an individual level, it's not our business. Now, you may make some decisions for a given client for a host of reasons. I had a client who lost her job, and we agreed that she would pay half price until she got her job back. Because I knew that client, and I knew I'd be the first thing she started paying again. But when we're looking at our business as a whole, the finances of individual people, that's theirs. We don't have control over that. We don't have responsibility for that. We don't have authority for that. There needs to be sort of a little neutral space between my finances as a business owner and as a person and my personal life and their finances as a person, an employee or a business owner or whatever, that I shouldn't be stepping into their finances because it's not right. It's not my business. I should not be looking in their wallet, in effect, metaphorically. Again, you do have to look at, broadly speaking, the kind of money your best fit clients make and how do you fit into that. It's when you're thinking about your pricing. But when you start getting down to, I can't raise my prices because they can't afford it, I'm going to challenge you. Are you talking about, one, your existing client base? And are you talking about your entire existing client base? Or are you talking about a favored subset of your existing client base? And if your existing client base can't afford a price increase that you need to make for you, maybe it's time you need some different clients. And I don't mean that harshly, but as a financial reality, if you need to make more money from your practice, if you need to take home more money from your practice than you currently can, you have to take care of you. You have to create a practice that takes care of you, whatever that looks like. And it's going to look different for all of us, depending on our life circumstances and where we live and who we work with. And it would suck. I mean, genuinely suck to lose a lot of clients because you had to raise your rates. But I don't know that I've known many people that happened to. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying I haven't run across it a lot. So, if you find yourself resisting a price increase that you know you need to make? Are you saying, well, they can't afford it? How do you know what they can afford? And if you know it because you've been looking in their wallet, get your nose out their wallet. And even people literally saying, oh, I can't afford that, doesn't mean they won't. Doesn't mean they won't make it work for them. It gets complicated because our job is to take care of our clients. But it's to take care of our clients within the limits of that professional setting and within the limits of, the time that we're with them. It's not our job to take care of everything about them. That would be a real mess and a serious boundary problem. And you leave no space for them to be separate from you, and they need to remain separate from you. Those are my thoughts. I am willing to bet somebody watching this disagrees completely with me, disagrees entirely with me, that they would never raise their rates if there's people they know that can't afford it, or they would make them a special deal. I get that. You as a private business owner get to make your own decisions. But how often does that, I'm curious, how often do you run up against that reluctance in yourself, or hear it from other therapists? They can't afford it, talking about their clients. How big a deal is that? How often is it really true? It's one of those phrases, if you find yourself thinking it or saying it around raising your rates, I would say take a couple steps back and start digging under that phrase and seeing what it is you're really afraid of. Are you afraid of disappointing people? Are you afraid of making somebody angry? Are you afraid of making somebody sad? Are you afraid of them no longer looking at you as the most fabulous thing in their life? Because, there are clients that do that. That's kind of nice, even though it's kind of weird at the same time. But ask yourself, what am I really saying? And are their finances my problem, my responsibility, my job? Not callously, but realistically. Okay. Those are my thoughts for today. Those are the things that are rolling through my mind as I think about things like setting and raising rates, and the roadblocks that come up for us in doing that make it harder to do it. And what do we do about that? If you got thoughts on this, I'd love to hear them. I really would. This is a conversation I'd like to have with people. Feel free to drop something down in the comments section, either now or whenever you watch this. And those are my thoughts for this Friday. I would love to wish you that you have exactly the same weather I do. You might not like this weather. You might want snow already. I don't know. I hope you're getting whatever you want. And I know plenty of you aren't. But I still hope that you're getting what you want. And I'll be back on Monday, 11 o'clock, same time, to talk about something else. Take good care of yourself. And I'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.